Hey there guys, this is Ian Night for Fire, and welcome back to a brand new episode of my Skylanders Giants Legendary Locke. Today is episode number 8, so today we're going to be heading out for chapter 8, known as Troll Home Security Castle. And you guys are no doubt wondering, well, how come I'm currently on Flynn's ship right now instead of at the end of chapter 7 like I ended off in the last episode. But the thing is that what happened is that my storage files got corrupted, so I lost a lot of footage, but I'm going to explain about that more later on. But first and foremost, I have a surprise for you guys. And such a surprise involves this guy. So you guys are probably thinking, well, wasn't he defeated previously, meaning that I cannot use him anymore? And to that you are indeed correct. He was indeed defeated in level 8, in level 6 even. And first, because he was defeated, in the nature of a Locke, obviously a defeated Skylander means that they are classified as dead, so I cannot use them again. But the thing with this specific Locke is that it has power-ups. So, I have the Revive Orb for heal up and for auto switch out. I just use my Revive Orb to revive Trigger Happy right here, because it didn't feel right having only 7 of the 8 elements, so I decided to bring back the tech element, so that then we'd have one representation of each element, and I decided Trigger Happy over Bouncer for obvious reasons, considering that Bouncer has a much larger hitbox than Trigger Happy, which makes it easier for enemies to hit him, which would make it easier for them to defeat him a second time, so Trigger Happy was clearly the better choice in such a scenario. But now that I've used that power-up, I cannot use it again. So the only power-ups I have remaining is the instant swap out and the heal up. But without further ado, we're going to head out for chapter 8 as promised in the intro right here. And so as you can see, I do not need to speak to Flynn to get access to this level, purely because, as I previously mentioned, I had some storage problems. But we're going to get into those once the cutscene here is over. But either way, what do you guys think to Trigger Happy being revived? Be sure to share your thoughts on comments below. I'll read as many of them as possible and reply to as many of them as I can. Basically is what I'm saying right here. No, Trigger Happy is disappointed. He thinks they need more guns.
Yeah. Trolls sure take their job seriously. Getting to the shield generator isn't going to be easy. You can distract the guards. I'll go around back.
Yeah, but being difficult isn't going to stop us from owning it, to say the least.
How can I say no?
You'd make an awful bodyguard, dude. The only thing you're good for is running your mouth. In fact, I'd go as far to say that, take this, you fool. Yeah, what a terrible bodyguard that is, you see? Life element. That means we need legendary stealth up right here. But yes, in case you guys have clicked in this video and are quite confused about what the hell legendary Locke is, the first thing I'd recommend is go and see the first episode first. How silly of you to come into the 8th episode of a Locke expecting to understand anything, right? But I'm going to quickly explain it for you right here because I'm a nice guy like that.
See if you can grab something to take down this wall.
And I'm sure we can. Okay, as I was saying about the legendary Locke, basically what it is that I can only play with the 10 original legendary variants from this game, and if they are defeated, they are classed as dead, which means I cannot use them again. So that's what happened to Bouncer, Chill, and Trigger Happy, as previously mentioned, in level 6. But since then, I've used a Revive Orb to revive Trigger Happy, because I can use him until he is defeated once more. But another thing about legendary Locke here is that what winds up occurring is that if if a area is dedicated to a particular element, then I must swap out to a Skylander that corresponds to that element, no questions asked. So as you can see, there was the life element right here for Stealth Elf, and well, for area swap to the life element, I should go as far as saying, so I had to swap out to Stealth Elf as a result. But wait, as you can see, there is no longer a hat in here. There was a hat in here previously, but as you can see, I'm currently wearing it, and that's why you guys could not see that previously. But basically what wound up happening is that my file save got corrupted, but I managed to jump straight back into the level because I was only like corrupted right after I blew up this, actually. How hilarious to say the least. Oh wait, let's take these fellas down and try not to die, because that would be awful, because as we've mentioned, if a Skylander is defeated in battle, then they are classified as dead, so I cannot use them again. But anyway, that's pretty much how legendary Locke works, if you guys were confused. But if you guys are clicking onto this, like, 8 episodes in, and are confused about how it works, then my recommendation for you guys is go and check out the first episode, you fools. Wait, as you can see, Stealth was very successful right there. But I did mention mention some storage problems previously. And the problem with those previous episodes was not the fact that I lost the footage was the fact that the footage was ruined. So basically what happened is that I got a call on Skype. Whenever you get a call on Skype, it goes to the Skype screen instead of my camera screen, which I used to record. So obviously what wound up happening is that all the audio was just fine because the audio was being picked up. But my screen recorder was recording for Skype screen instead of gameplay screen. So what wound up happening is that, of course, you guys didn't see any of the gameplay. So I've had to go back and re-record the episodes 8 and 9, or chapters 8 and 9 correspondingly. So I know it's the area sort of life element, but we're just going to sit with Ignited for now because... like, there's no more enemies in here, so swapping to stealth would just be a waste of time, I suppose, what I'm saying right here. But that pretty much does it for my explaining. Hilarious how, when I go back to redo this one, my storage files get corrupted. It just seems like this game really does not want to seem to let me record this episode for some strange reason, but at least the second time around, my storage files, I realised, were corrupted early in, so I didn't have too much of a level to play through. As I previously mentioned, they pretty much got corrupted the moment I threw the bomb at the wall. So yeah, that's how things go. I hate having to re-record things, but hey, it's whatever, I suppose, right? Oh wait, we will very much be doing that right there, Callie. Yeah, you do that, because he's going to need you to protect him from such things. And do her best she shall, I'm sure. Hey, I could make a whole song about that. How awesome would that be? Either way, as you can see, the element of the area is fire, which is why we bothered sticking with Igniter. Not what I wanted to do, but hey, I'll take it. It turned out to be effectful, didn't it? And anything that's effectful and works, I will keep with. Ooh, that was close then. I almost got, like, KO'd from that. Yeah, no way we're about to let Ignite get defeated that easily. Heh, take that, fools. Every day is a bad day to be your foe, bro. Oh, darn, I realised I need to get close in order for that to choke right there. Oh, no. Get away from the explosions. Okay, get out of the way of the chompies as well. That would also be a great idea on my behalf, to say the least. Okay, now we've got to wait for him to finish stomping, or else he'll stomp me and it won't be pleasant, to say the least. Okay, here he comes with that again. Boom. Okay, watch out for that. Oh, nice, we got our Elementalist completed, so I'm quite happy about that, to say the least. Okay, now let's take this through down. Boom. And down he is. Now I've just got to watch out the chompies because, you know, dying to a chompy would be the most embarrassing thing ever. And considering that we're on nightmare mode, a chompy would be enough to not defeat us, but definitely hurt us, to say the least.
Good job.
Out of the way we did indeed, so now let's continue and advance with the rest of the level, I should go as far as to say. And boom, now that chompy is very much down. Out of the way, hopefully by the time I'm done with this level, the storage files won't corrupt, or the, or no one will actually call me on Skype. Because, you know, losing for footage 3 times in a row would not be very good for me, to say the least. It would almost, like, make me shy away from filming, I'd go as far as to say. Because, you know, losing things once, you know, that's fine. You just say whatever, shrug your shoulders and get back on with it. You know, it's not too difficult of a task to re-record things sometimes. But when it comes to losing things twice, that's when things get bad. And if you lose it 3 times, that's when you just don't bother with it anymore. Because recording the same thing over and over again just, you know, it really drags on, to say the least. Either way, things are looking almighty fine. But it looks like the element of the area is about to swap. To what, though, I shall wonder. Oh, none other than Legendary Bash needs to be summoned for this here situation. And rocking and rolling we're going to be doing, buddy. Yeah, I'm sure he'll survive just fine. Why? Because this guy's an absolute tank, that's why. And, like, how can you defeat Bash so easily? You can't, that's the answer to that. You see what I mean? This guy's an absolute beast, alright. Or a tank, that goes as far as to say, because that's what I've pretty much nicknamed him. Fools. I can't believe these trolls were foolish enough to think they could take on Bash and the chompies. They're just as bad, in all fairness. Boom. No one shall survive the might of Bash. And trust me, Crash of Skylanders would agree with that sentence more than what anyone else would. Wait, let's rock and roll down here. I should go as far as to say and see what we can find inside. I'm sure there'll be something of some sort of use. including some cheese, which I will quite happily endear myself with, even though we are at full health, so it's not like it will be much of a use. But hey, at least we will have a nice, awesome story score to listen to from the fruits of our labour, if you go as far to say, so let's grab it, without further ado. And we've got, and we're slowly but surely making our way to the Chow Hound quest, which I'm also happy about. So yes, a double win-win situation. By getting us started on our path to victory when it comes to the Chow Hound quest, and also we got a story scroll along the way.
And their secret Archean vault of secrets. The Franken vault hiding the teleporter under things like pottery, and then asking someone to go grab said piece of pottery. The unsuspecting target was suddenly teleported away, giving the prankster the closest thing Archeans have to a lie.
That's one thing I love about this game. This game by far has the best designed story scrolls, because the story scrolls link with each other, like they link the levels together. Like that story scroll right there was talking about the secret vault of secrets which you were just at, and hilariously enough, there was indeed a teleporter hidden under a piece of pottery, which led us to the location of a legendary treasure. So I'm glad they linked it back to that. It's very, very clever writing, to say the least. You know, stuff like that, which makes this game feel more clever than its predecessor. Even though overall, the level design is a bit better in Spyro's Adventure, and I just find that game to be a bit more fun. But that's mostly because of the nostalgia behind it, I suppose I could go as far to say, because that's where it all started and everything like that. Anyways, let's grab this. And then we can head around to the orange teleporter thingy McBob and grab that last orb. Thingy McBob, perfect description indeed. Yeah, the story scrolls might be able to describe things perfectly, but I cannot. Okay, let's open up this treasure chest then, keeping an eye on my phone before someone calls me on Skype and I lose all the footage from it again. Okay, we're going to grab this gold, even though Bash doesn't need it anyway, purely because, oh, we're awesome, so why the hell not, to say the least, that's what I'm saying right here. Either way, let's hit this bounce pad right here and head in this general direction. So another thing I'm currently in is that I'm not recording this in the same profile as I did with the previous episodes. This is currently being recorded from a different save file.
Looks like they've left their artillery system on. I bet a giant could pick up those big shells.
Yeah, but our only giant has kind of been defeated. Thanks for nothing for reminding me of that, Callie. Hold on. Look at this, I can attack these guys, they don't even twitch anymore. Like in Spyro's Adventure they at least twitched, but here, wow, they've really grown an immunity to Skylanders attacking them, huh? Just so useful, I suppose you don't even flinch at this point, right? But anyway, if NPCs are like invincible to our attacks, doesn't that mean they're also invincible to the enemy's attacks as well, which means they must have some sort of charm. So guys, why couldn't you save that charm for us? Would you rather survive, Spyro or Flynn? We all know who like a more useful team member is, right? Yeah, that's just me joking around once again, guys. We're all equally as helpful as each other, except for Flynn, he's just useless. Okay, we're going to grab this bomb right here, and we're going to blow some stuff up with it, because what else would you use a bomb for than blowing stuff up with, right? Boom! And the cannon is gone, in case you guys can get it, that was a silly bang reference. Bring it on, fellas. Haha, nice try, Cinnabore. And now them fellows were taken down thanks to the might of the mighty Bash. You can call him anything pretty much, and it will pretty much always describe him as long as it's about power or brawling or speed, because this guy pretty much matches all of those their scenarios, considering he has speed with his roll, he has power with his tail bite, and he has a lot of great armor which allows him to take a lot of heavy hits and deal a lot of damage as well. That's why I call him a tank, but you guys can call him whatever ye wish, pretty much. He's just that awesome. Same with Ignitor, even though I just call him Ignitor because that's the most perfect name, just like every other aspect of Ignitor is. Anyways, let's get into this game. And we have an Fuego Chompy right here. So if you've noticed that these stones are different in this, that's purely because, like I said, this is a different save file I'm currently working in. So that is very much why. But don't worry, we'll jump back into a regular save file once I'm done with this particular level right here. Okay, we're going to use the Troll Wanderer right here, which those enemies get really tough once they're introduced later on in the game, but I'm not going to spoil that too much for you guys just yet, that is. Wait, no, let's not put that there. Let's put this here instead. So then we have a great defense. Because, you know, you can't really get much better defense than that, in all fairness. Okay, let's bring in the life spell pump to take out that D-Rev turn. So what this guy has left is an armor chomp, if I believe so correctly. And correctly, I did in fact believe. If only that sort of belief level went towards the press conference that Activision did on the 8th of February.
Well, you beat me again, you did.
Yes, I did indeed. Thanks for that, dude. Way we got a brand new stone from that armor chompy, which I'm definitely excited to be revealing to you guys, nevertheless. And right up here, it seems like it's a tick on us, so it's time to bring in our brand new returning member of the Locke legendary trigger happy deckers, of course. But anyways, going back to what I was saying about the press conference, if only Activision believed in this franchise more as much as I did, because I was sincerely hoping, or by the way, we're not going to swap back to Bash, because the only reason why I've returned back here is because I want to get this chest from Trick Happy considering he's the water gold. And as you see in that area over there is a water gate, but are we going to go to it? No, A, because it'll be a waste of time, since we don't need to do it anyway, and B, even if I was to do it, then there's a really risky area that involves a lot of enemies, which would put our Skylanders at huge risk, and it's a risk not worth taking considering it will be very high risk, very low reward, because you don't want to lose Skylanders that easily. That's what I'm basically saying right here. But anyway, going back to that press conference, nothing, and I mean nothing, was confirmed about the Skylanders franchise by Activision. People were seriously hoping that there was going to be a Skylanders 7 announced, and you can't say that, you know, this game franchise doesn't have any fans, because there was literally, like, Portalmaster 9351 streamed the event, and there was literally hundreds of people watching. So you cannot say that this game does not have any fans of any sort, especially when there's 100 people tuning in for Skylanders 7 for stuff like that. And then after all that, basically, the Activision press conference went from like 4:30 to 6 PM in American time, but that meant that for us in the UK right here, it lasted until 11 o'clock. So that meant that I stayed up at 11 o'clock. For no confirmation on the Skylanders franchise whatsoever. It wasn't even announced, cancelled or anything. We didn't get any answers towards anything. We went in there, and from it we learnt nothing new, which was probably the biggest disappointment of all. So yes, it is a shame that there hasn't been a Skylanders 7 confirmed yet, but that doesn't mean it's not happening. Who knows, something could come through at E3 and we could get a Skylanders game there to be announced. But as always, I'm sure you'll find out. We can just have that last sliver of hope right now, because I'm not telling you guys to hope too much of things. Like, don't raise your hopes too high, because the chances are nothing else is going to be confirmed and we're not getting into the Skylanders game again this year. But it's just still that little sliver of hope that Skylanders 7 could happen in 2018, considering that there is still E3 coming up. Because the thing is that whilst they didn't say anything about there being a Skylanders 7, they also didn't say anything against it either. And that's what people hate. People would have at least wanted, like, if they was to say the Skylanders franchise was cancelled, then that's fine, you know, at least we'd have that final confirmation. But no, nothing like that occurred, which is what has made most people most disappointed about the situation. We didn't even get anything on Skylanders Academy or the mobile game. That was until Portalmaster 9351 did some digging and found something about it. Because everyone thought the mobile game this year was cancelled, but then Portalmaster 9351 at the end of the stream while everyone was down, kind of like found something on Come To Us's website, who's the developer of the mobile game, and it turns out that it's not cancelled and it's coming out later this fall. So thanks to Portalmaster 9351 digging, we at least do know that information, and that did at least leave off the stream of hope, because, you know, everyone was so down and depressed from the stream, and then like everyone was cheered up afterwards by Portalmaster 9351 finding that. It's a great job on that department right there, Portalmaster 9351. And man, my hope is not the greatest, but man, I really would have loved a Skylanders game this year, but like I said, just because they haven't confirmed anything yet doesn't mean it's not happening.
That's amazing, Flynn. But if you don't mind...
Yes, I agree with Callie here. She should definitely set up the explosives, because I trust her more than I trust her, more than I trust Flynn. That way we're going to happily set the food right now, mostly because, as you can tell, we kind of need it. Oh, watch out for those guys. Nice, and watch out for them, we did. Okay, let's take out this grenade and without further ado, boom, and the troller's gone. Again, another slip back reference, nevertheless. By the way, what do you guys think of the situation? Like, do you guys think Skylanders is done and it's dead, and we're not getting another game? Or do you think that, do you still have that last level of hope like me, that we might get something at E3? But again, I don't want to raise false hopes, so I'm definitely not saying that anything's going to be announced. I'm just saying don't give up on hope just yet. Think of it like Star Wars, you know, we're the Rebellion and Activision's for Empire, you know, we gotta have hope. Rebellions are built on hope, and so our hope is for a Skylanders game. There might be a small amount of hope, but it is still there nevertheless. Because that's the thing, during Star Wars, the Rebellion always has dark moments, but they still have that last level of hope, and that's always what saves them in the end, and that's what we need to have right here. So just think of it like that, I suppose. Okay, let's destroy these things so then we can advance. Because if you do not destroy them, then you cannot advance. It's simple as, because you cannot jump in these first two visual games, of course. Anyway, as you can see, you could just use a giant for this gate right here, but unfortunately, as I mentioned previously, our only giant from Locke has been defeated. So what we're going to do instead is we're going to bring in a bomb to blow it up with. Bruno would be proud, but unfortunately, we cannot use him in this Locke either, because he never had any legendary forms. Even though he did get Neon's elite eventually, he totally deserved to return because he was one of the forgotten 8 from Spyro's Adventure, and it's about time he returned when he got his Neon's elite form in Superchargers. Oh man, I'm trying to see if we can hit the wall from here. Nice, we got it. I'm proud of that. Yes, we did find the shield thingy, but we're going to need to get some charms first, or else we're not going to do too well here, because Jetpack is quite low, and not the greatest of characters. That's why I want to get such charms, I suppose. Yes, it can indeed be surface of us, so just offer me stuff already. Are we going to enter the store? Oh yes we are. So I'm not going to buy this just yet, purely because I bought it in my other profile, so when we jump back over to my other profile, the charm will be available for us there. What we are going to buy, however, is we're going to buy this because it means the Jetpack can deal double damage. And it's going to help us out, of course, because we need to defeat enemies as fast as possible, so that then they cannot defeat us, especially considering that Jetpack is not on the greatest of health right now. So yeah, we've got to be careful around here, around these parts. Especially with enemies like this D-Rifter right here. Nice, we got him. Oh boy. This is a lot of guys right here. A lot of guys who are all going down. Ow, that hurt. Like a lot. Like a lot. Nice, we took him out. Okay, now let's focus on that Chompy dude. Okay, so I'm trying to focus on Chompy dude. Oh man, I really wanted to suck up that Chompy to get the Mega Blast right there, but that just was not meant to be. Okay, this is going to wind up close, guys. A very close call, kind of like how Chop was in the previous level, if I believe correctly, and I'm pretty sure I do indeed ever call correctly, nevertheless. Watch out for those fallen Chompies! If I'm being completely honest here, it's the shield guys that I'm worried about most, but we're going to take out the Chompy dude first, nevertheless, because he's probably one of the more threatening members of the arsenal right now when it comes to the bad guys. Ooh, watch out for that Chompy right there. Ooh, this is really close, guys. This is the closest we've ever had, even more closer than Chop Chop. You see what I mean? I'm built on hope right now. I don't think Jetpack's going to survive, but the hope is what seen me through. Nice. And the shield gun has been destroyed thanks to my general overall awesomeness.
I think a boom is in order here.
Quite literally as well, we blew it up, so of course the boom is in order, nevertheless.
Chaos a little visit.
Yeah, but we probably should try to capture him or something, right?
What do you think we're going to do, Flynn, you fool? You foolish Skylar fool, even though you're not even a Skylar. Either way, we got that all-important no lifestyles objective, as you can see right there. And that's great, because it means we didn't lose any further Skylanders, which means we still have our 8 Skylanders available to play as. Either way, I'll be seeing you in the next one, guys, but until then, peace!